Hey everyone, I'm Summer, and back to my channel, where solopreneurs, coaches, and creators learn to grow from the inside out. This is part of my Teach Me Something playlist, where I invite fascinating people to teach us something really cool, something transformative, something that expands the way we think. So today's conversation is going to stretch your perspective a lot. We are exploring past life regression, and it's with somebody who's lived through challenges, through resilience and deep transformation. My guest today is one of my favorite humans on earth, Jean-Luc Allaire, and his story is remarkable. He's faced what more than what most of us have: business failure, bankruptcy, illness, even cancer. Yet, he chose not to fold, but to completely change the game of life. Through those experiences, he's discovered profound tools for healing, for growth, and for peace. Jean Luc is now a past life regression therapy practitioner. That is still a mouthful to me, Jean Luc. He's a master Reiki practitioner. He's a teacher of managing your thoughts and the power of the word. And he's also an Akashic Records reader. His work helps people access the deep layers of who they actually are beyond what they can see or measure, to release patterns, to rediscover purpose. That's Jean Luc for you. So, Jean Luc, I want to start right at the very beginning. Like normally I sing, let's start at the very beginning. A lot of people hear this word, past life regression, but don't really know what it means. You and I had a talk some time ago. And before that, I had a thought like, is it hypnosis? Is it like memory work, energy work, or is it something totally different? I'm curious, but I'm not sure how it exactly works. So, what exactly, Jean Luc, is past life regression?
Well, the way we do it now is is meditation, and in the old days, like Diane Cannon was well known for this. She would do like really heavy hypnosis.
Hmm.
Don't need to do that today. People are more open, but we do a guided meditation. And where does that come from? We understand, like I know the Hinduists believed in past life before we did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, when we start working with it, it's in the Bible. Like you can see a bunch of angels, but I'm not a church going guy, but I believe in the higher power. And it's in the books of the Old Testament under Melchizedek when he talks about the book of life.
Yes.
Basically, when we do Akashic reading, we kind of go in the library of the Akasha.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a book for you of all your lives.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a bit different. When we do a guided past life meditation, you get to see. Like you guided your question and you
Mm-hmm.
get to see what your past life were. So usually when we do a meditation, sorry, but my dog's on top of me and she won't leave me there. But
She likes me.
yeah, she likes your voice. That's why she's on top, but she won't leave. Like usually she's off by now. But so basically, we get to see about three past life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we've discovered now is that everybody that's here now has got between 900 and almost 1,000 lives lived. People question a lot of things. When you go to past life, things start to make sense
Mm-hmm.
because we're here to learn. Our soul is pure love. So basically, where we come from, when you connect to your heart and you connect to love, that's your soul. The body is where we learn all the things we need to learn, like selfish, greed, gluttony, and all this stuff that we have to experience, cannot experience as a soul. So you come in to learn them. So
Mm-hmm.
like an actor, they say, why so many life? Well, like an actor, like you're going to watch a movie, an actor in one is going to be a good guy. The next one is a real bad guy. And the other one is
Mm-hmm.
going to be a small role. And on and on and on. When you're an actor, you'll do all the stuff. But
Yep.
basically, we're here to learn all of it. So when you have a life where you're a bad person, then you learn what the consequence of this is. And then in another life, you're a good person.
Mm-hmm.
In another life, you're a wife, you're a husband, and all the things you need to learn, right? Life,
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of them. Some life, there's nothing happening. Like there's life where you just sat there and you're begging for food.
Wasted your life. Mm-hmm.
And that's why is that? So then there's an answer at the end. Why did I have to live this life? Right? I didn't do nothing. I was no place to live. I was in the street. I was begging for food. I didn't live to be old, but why did I have to? So there's answers that come out of that. And
Mm-hmm.
it's always interesting. And there's a lot of things you can learn from this. But basically, there's no danger when you're guided because there's things to say, okay, you just look from above. You don't live it. You don't experience the bad emotions or the emotions. You're more of a viewer if you want.
Mm-hmm.
You bring back a lot of answers.
That's fascinating. especially the way you said it. And when you started, like, Hindus used to believe, yes, we still believe.
Yeah.
I should tell you stories about what I feeling, what I feel about my own past lives. But I'm curious to learn more, and you're teaching me so nicely. So when you describe it that way, I felt like, oh, this thing is connecting there, and the other thing in my life is connecting to something else. So people listening might feel like, okay, so this is past life regression therapy. Why should I do it? So how does someone actually use it to improve their lives or change what we are doing today?
Yeah, I've seen that. So a lot of time we use in healing. So when you work psychosynthesis, everything's from 0 to 6, but a lot of people can't
Mm,
get there. And then when
mm,
you do some of that therapy, it's another tool to find what's going on. Like a lot of time you'll find that you have a bad relationship with somebody, and then you go into past life and you were their brother or sister that betrayed each other or enemies
mm,
or
mm,
whatever. And then it's like, oh, that makes sense. Like, why are we like this today? Because sometimes there's no reason, right? And I remember one time I had a past life that I was with this woman that was um, she was a minimalist. She didn't like to have a lot of stuff around the house, but I always spoiled her. I always had to spoil her. And
mm,
even though I'm kind of that guy, and
mm,
the past life was I was uh, a driver for the horse carriage delivery and stuff, and I had an accident, broke my back. And we had kids, and I was like, it's the old days, right? Like, so now you didn't have an employer, you didn't have insurance, you just
mm, mm,
harder to help the family survive because my back was broken.
mm,
That life I died with a broken back, but also I felt so bad for her to have to work like more than she had to.
mm.
This life we ended up together, and for some reason I kept wanting to spoil her all the time, take care of her. So then it kind of resolved this because it was a bit too much. And stuff like this that happens. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Right.
By the time when you do that, you can recognize people. Oh, she was my sister then. She's my brother. He's my brother now, or she's my mother now, and she was my sister then. And the benefit of this, I wish everybody would go through past life, because if you're a man that kind of judge women or anything that's going on, like you're racist or you whatever,
Mm,
realize that in past life you were those person that you talk against. Like, a man that's like really controlling, all of a sudden he has a past life, like he does past life where he was woman, he was abused, he was as a woman.
mm,
He comes
mm,
back with a different thing, right?
mm, mm.
Same as like if you judge other ethnicity or religion and you go back and all your past life, you were those people. It's like, oh, why am I doing this today? Why is there's things that come back, right? There's a lot
Fascinating.
of little tools that come with back with you when it's
Mm,
guided properly. And we usually start with the ones that are affected because your brain, the things you need to heal from zero
mm,
to six, right? And that's what we talked about a lot. And it's
mm.
really interesting.
It's more about self-understanding and not like mystical. This is magical thing that we look into, and nobody can look into this. So one thing makes me wonder, what is the bigger purpose behind exploring our past lives? Like, is it an emotional release or mostly like personal growth, maybe even soul alignment? Why should people
All
actually look into healing stuff?
It's all of the above, right? I don't use that in
Hmm,
my regular classes. This is something on the
hmm,
side that
yeah.
I do for people, and it's important to understand why we're here. What's my mission here? Like, why am I here to learn? A lot of time we don't know, but when you start doing some past life, you
Hmm,
start to see what you have to heal,
hmm,
right? Like one of my friends, like I forget a lot of stuff I do, but I try to remember just to highlight.
hmm.
She had a life where she was a lesbian, and
Okay.
in the beginning of the 1900s, which was totally against the rule. And she was in love with a girl, but the girl did not want to come out, so she actually married, and she committed suicide because she was heartbroken. And today, she is back, and she was kind of struggling because she's a lesbian today,
Hmm,
and but she accepted it. And so, and then
hmm,
when we did the past life, everything made sense.
hmm,
She was a musical person, a dancer, but she was in love with a woman,
hmm, hmm.
broke her heart, and she threw herself in front of a car.
Yeah.
Right. That was that. But there's no emotion. Like, when we do this, it's like your visual. It's like that's what
Right. Yes.
there was more. There was more to it, but we don't need to go. So
Mm,
today, she's accepting. She's in music again. It's like she's kind of fixing that life that got short, and now
mhm.
she accept who she is. Her parents, like everybody around now, it's accepting because now it's more accepted.
Yeah.
So she's blooming, like her music, and I always tell her I'm proud of her. Like she's a younger lady, and
Mm,
she's my best friend, and
mm,
it just healed her to be able to just keep going. And it's
mm,
not a big deal because she's in an environment today that she is supported, but
mm,
that added to her experience. Oh, I had that happen to me in the past life because the things were not accepted. Now I'm in a place where it's accepted and I feel good about myself.
Wow.
Right. So look, I got tons and tons of stories of this, but is it a big event? No, because you're not dealing with a trauma. You're dealing with subtlety of when you're thinking about yourself. Who am I? Like, why am I like this? Why am I right? And there's a lot of things like this. And then when you go further, if you want to go further, like to me, I had to do a lot of my past life as a native, right? The whole thing I did because I was guided by somebody going deeper. There's a light touch where it's nice. Hear some stuff. Oh, that is nice. Like I get it now. Or you can go even further and get more and more. Like, why am I attracted to this? Why am I right? So to me, when I was young, I always opened a book backward. I never grabbed from the front. I was backward.
The Japanese way.
Japanese way, right? And then I got 78 cousins, like who were from big family. I was the only one that was in martial arts. Martial arts. And then when I started doing the stuff, I realized there was a lot of past life from Japan, where I was really into samurai and all this stuff. And that came out a lot. There was not just one, there was quite a few, and they're very, very interesting. And then when I was bullied and I was young, this is what came out. I brought this to help me get over being bullied without becoming a bully, because the way of samurai is not bullying, it's just defend and protect. So yeah, that was really interesting because from a young age, I always opened, and why did I put anything backward? I'm from a family that never did this, and Canadian, right? So, but yeah, so things like this, you start, oh, that's why I was like this, and that's what that attracted me, and that's what happened there. And that's, I had a leg problem one time. It's because as a samurai, I got my leg cut off, but I did not die, but I was a general. I felt because now I had leg missing, because my name was so high and my knowledge was so high that they still kept me and allowed me to run some armies, but I felt like nothing because now and then I remember and then when I did that, that pain went away. It was really bad. So it's like sometimes you got to go a bit further. Sometimes it's just for adventure. It's like, oh yeah, okay, that was that. Like it. Especially when you find out that your brother was your sister in another life, or things like this, right? That your father was your son in another life. There's a lot of fun stuff, right?
Yeah, I love the connectivity in your stories, and I love your perspectives too. So it's less about who I was, but more about like what can I learn from what I might have been. So let's wrap this up on a very reflective note. From all the work you've done so far on past life regression, what are the biggest lessons that people tend to learn from? Like, what's like, aha, this happened in this past life therapy regression?
Oh, it's so different for everybody. It's like I remember my sister, a connection with my dad, and he was her son in a past life, and he died in World War II. Aviator, like an airplane, and they crashed. She never got to see him again. He died before, like she couldn't. So in this lifetime, the promise was when he died, he'd be with her, and when he passed away in 21, he was with her in the hospital. But everybody else got something else. To me, the biggest thing is when somebody is either racist or really hard on women and stuff, and you do past life, and also they become those person, and they see the life they had as
they become the oppressor, you mean?
Yeah, they're kind of oppressing, or sometimes some men think women are just good for this, or kind of whatever the thinking is of a person, and all of a sudden they go back in time and they are either being oppressed as that kind of ethnicity or a woman or whatever, or they live that life and then they see a different side of it. And they come back and say, "Oh, okay, I never thought of it that way." That's why I'd love to everybody to be able to connect, to like go around the world and take all these people to oppressing and when you get somebody against another because of their race, now sudden you go past life and they were those race before and whatever, it would alleviate a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's depending on how you want to go with it.
Let's educate a lot of people to not be the oppressor so that the next lives can be better.
Yeah, and one thing I could say is like a lot of people say, oh, he's such an old soul. The soul were all created at the same time.
Yeah.
The thing is what you
believe
bring to this life. If you are connected to some life where you were spiritually really high and you were a teacher of a lot of spiritual and this life is going to be, you're going to be teaching again, you bring this. So at a young age, you already seem to know a lot because you brought knowledge with you. So it's very interesting what we bring from past life.
This is an enlightening conversation. You took something that most of us think is mysterious or magical or woo woo, some people say. I don't even like that word, but you made it so meaningful and practical. So if people, these people who are watching us, if they want to connect with you, what should they do?
It's very easy. They can go on my website, Jean-Luc Allaire, or the thing, and then there's link there to connect with me for a chat. There's 30-minute chat. We can talk about anything. There's classes, and this is different. I do Reiki, and I do sessions of past life, and I do Akashic reading. Those are different. They're not what I teach on the main thing, but they're always fun to do. And I do a lot of it with people that go through illness, like a cancer patient. I do work for free for anybody that has major illness. So easy to reach.
Easy to reach. So that's who Jean-Luc Allaire is, you guys. If you want to connect with Jean-Luc, book a session with him or learn more about his work, his links are right in the description below. Look at his website. It's beautiful. And connect with him on LinkedIn or book a connection call.
Eva is my helper.
Eva is his helper. And she talks to me sometimes in my networking rooms. And of course.
Thank you very much, Summer.
My pleasure having you over here. And you guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more Teach Me Something episodes. Each one opens a new door, whether it could be business, it could be mindset, spiritual growth, and I promise you're always going to walk away with something very valuable. Until next time.
Thank you.